Hello everybody, my name is Mark and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a lovely watermelon turtle. Now things you're going to need is an X-Acto knife, you can get those at the cheap shops or stuff like that, hardware store, a watermelon baller, a razor sharp knife, pretty sharp, and a toothed blade knife. If you know what that is, a toothed blade knife that has teeth on it and a smooth blade knife. Because I keep this knife really sharp, it's because when I'm cutting through the watermelon, nice good details. I don't want jagged cuts. I want very smooth cuts through the watermelon to give it good detail. So what I do is I'll get a sharpening stone. First you use the rough side, darker side, then you use lighter side. Do 100 times on each side of the knife. On each side of the stone too. Okay, so what you're going to do first is grab your toothed blade knife and we're going to cut it this way. Watermelons aren't exactly perfectly round, so it's a bit like an oval, so we're going to stand it this way, make it really tall, like by standing it up. We're going to cut it in half. Right now we're going to make the shell. We're going to be making a freshwater turtle, not a sea turtle. Okay, so when you got your two halves, you get this here. You don't really need to cut directly in half, by the way. So you need to get the smallest piece that's been left here. Just going to put this aside. Okay, and you're going to need to get a watermelon scooper, hauler, and get all the watermelon out and put it in a bowl. Okay, so I've hollowed out the watermelon with the watermelon baller. So what we're going to do now is make the pattern in the shell. So what we're going to do is, you can grab a teaspoon or the watermelon baller. We're just going to scratch into it. And try and make a watermelon pattern, watermelon turtle shell. Okay, so the watermelon baller wouldn't really work, so I'm just using the end of a teaspoon to make the pattern. This can be a bit tricky, but it takes a bit of practice. So we're going to start on the edge here. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Make patterns like that. Keep doing them all over the shell until you're finished. Okay, so I've made the turtle pattern with the spoon here just by scraping it along. So what you're going to do now is put this aside and grab out the other half that I've bowled out. What we're going to do is we're going to grab this knife and we're going to cut a ring. I'm going to cut a ring off this part here. Just about here. It's good. Like that, see? We're going to need a ring like this. Now this is going to be the head. All this is going to be the head and fins or feet, and hands, whatever, for the turtle. This is so I've cut a ring for the head and fins. I'm just going to put this here. We're going to need this for later, aside. Now we're just going to scrape this away, all this excess melon. Just going to get rid of that. Now the head and the fin can be, the fins can be sometimes really hard to make. Sometimes takes a lot of detail and delicacy. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you. Here's what I got out. Yeah, so that's what I got out from the watermelon. So now what we're gonna do is we wanted about the fin about this long. So what we're gonna do is just gonna cut in half. Just drop that. And this is just going to be putting small cuts and details in the head and fins. Okay, so this here is going to be the fin, about here. Right there. There, that's our fin. Now what we're going to make it straight instead of curvy, we want it flat down, so what we're going to do is cut away all this. Yep, we're just going to cut away all this. All that white. Okay, now we're going to get this knife out, start putting it in a fin shape. Just remember, X-Acto knives can be really sharp and easy to get. Like, you can get a whole kit off this works and stuff. I've cut myself with these knives before, now you can leave really, really bad cuts, because even though this knife is sharper than this one, it's pretty sharp. And there we go. It's the shape of our fin. Now what we're going to do is, I'm not going to cut all the way through, but we're going to put small little cuts into this. I'm cutting all the way through, remember? See? Just like that. There we go. Now it's all bendy and flexy. See? We want to keep all this. We don't want to cut it through. That's our fin. Now we're just going to make about 3 more of these, and we are good to go. Oh, by the way, I've made the same mistake before, but don't copy this one. I've I've actually made another one of this, and you know, it looked funny on each side. So here, we're just gonna make another one now. Okay, now we just have to make 2 more. Actually, while I'm at it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to make the head. I'll just do the other 2 off camera, so you already know how to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this off. We don't want that, that's just yuck. And hit. We want a nice thick part. We do need to cut the ring, not just like, see how it's thin see how it's thin over here, then it starts to get thicker, then it become thinner again when else is full circle ring. That's what we want. Big part of the head, here we go. Okay. I have to cut away a bit more. Be careful not to cut yourself. About that thick. Okay. Okay, and there is your turtle head. Same deal, we're just going to do this. We don't want to go onto the head, we're just going to go next to its neck here. Don't want to cut there. Okay? Just its neck. Okay? There we go. Okay, so I've cut all the pieces for the arms and the head. Now, what you're going to do is, you're going to grab the other half, while we cut the ring, and we're going to grab some of the melon balls and put them in. The idea is when you lift up the shell, you can see all the watermelon to eat. We're going to use some of the watermelon balls to hold some of the fins in place. Okay, so these are the back. And if that doesn't work, guys, you can just use, or girls, you can just use toothpicks, which I've used in the past. There we go, guys. Now, we're just going to need to put the head on. Oop. This can take some time. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to put some more watermelon balls in there. There we go. Now, guys, what we're going to do is, this is going to be a bit tricky, but we're going to put the shell on. And if the shell's too big to hop on, just trim it down, really. It's not a big deal. So just cut our ring, but we're not going to need that ring this time. If it's just like, you know, just a smidge too big, you can always just cut it down to size. So this time we want to make this ring neat. We want a neat cut with a really sharp knife. Okay, so I've put everything in place. Now I'm just going to put the shell on top and you're done. There. Awesome. And that's how you make a watermelon turtle. And that's it, guys, and that's today's presentation. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.